Greetings, YouTube. One of the problems I wrestle with on a regular basis is trying to separate a person's ideology from the person themselves. What do I mean by that? For example, a neo-Nazi. I may be completely opposed to their ideology that they're publicly espousing, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't feel sympathy, empathy, and compassion for the person themselves. And I find that particularly difficult when it's what I would consider more of an active participant in an ideology as opposed to a passive participant. So someone that just votes for a politician or at least agrees with the politician's positions, I would consider a passive supporter of that ideology, as opposed to say someone that works actively for a campaign or is the politician themselves. They've really engaged themselves in that ideology in a major way. And so I have a hard time sometimes trying to connect to them as a person, because trying to connect with a person like that, with their ideology in that manner, is a lot like trying to feel compassion for a person who's actively trying to punch you in the head. Yes, you should in fact still feel compassion for that person, even while you defend yourself. Because if someone is attacking you, they are doing so from a position of anger or fear or mental illness or any other number of reasons. They're not healthy. Healthy people do not attack others. Um, and of course, in our patriarchal society, with our uh, rampant toxic masculinity, a lot of men have been taught that the only way they can express themselves emotionally is through anger and violence. Um, but we should still feel compassion for a person, even if they are doing that. But when I listen to a politician on the radio, and I listen to politicians on the radio every day, I listen to NPR habitually, and coming to and from work, everywhere I go, I am almost always listening to NPR. The rare exceptions are sometimes the politicians go so over the top, I have to put some music on. Um, and I get really angry sometimes with the politicians because they are actively involved in what I am viewing as very unhealthy, toxic ideologies. The best example at the moment, or at the minute, as the British would say, would be Trump. Trump is espousing toxic political ideology. Um, Ideology based on xenophobia, on bigotry, on hatred, on racism, on misogyny. There pretty much is nothing about Trump's positions that I agree with. Well, those he's defined. A lot of the time, it's just large, bombastic statements that are incredibly vague. Like, I'm going to build the wall. Yeah, some smart person once said, if you build a 35-foot wall, all you do is create a market for 36-foot ladders. Um, and how he's going to get Mexico to pay for it is a bit of a mystery. I know the Mexicans have already said no. But trying to separate the person from their ideology so that I can feel compassion for the person that carries it while still opposing the ideology that they are endorsing is sometimes difficult. And right now, I'm talking to you. I'm sitting in my chair in my office. I've got my cats. I'm in a safe, comfortable environment. I am not in immediate danger. And I'm not listening to anyone espouse hatred and bile. But there are times when I am listening to someone espousing hatred and bile that I can get really angry. I have screamed at my radio on more than one occasion. I particularly found it egregious when Cruz used to speak regularly while he was running, because he is such an incredible liar. And I'm still working on this. It's on my list of things to talk to my therapist in 2 days, as the moment of filming, and I have not found a solution yet. But I imagine I'm not alone. So I thought I would open a dialogue up to see if we can help each other to wrestle with the ideology that people carry that we find toxic, that we find dangerous. And it's not going to come as any surprise to anyone that's watched more than probably 2 of my videos. I'm a liberal progressive who was also a political socialist. Um, so I am opposed to both social and politically conservative worldviews. I find them dangerous. I find them toxic. As I've said many times before, most of the problems of the world can be explained by fear, and at the heart of social conservatism is fear. Where I firmly believe at the heart of liberal progressivism is compassion. And those are two very, very different worldviews. And I endorse all of us being more compassionate and less fearful. So let's talking about the ideologies that we don't agree with and how we can still feel empathy, sympathy, and compassion for the people that hold them. Because that is a path towards health as people, as society. And that's an idea I can endorse.